Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth here. So I wanted to do this video to talk a little bit about healthy lifestyle living advice, giving some thought into what you need to sacrifice in order to have a little bit of a healthy lifestyle, which is time versus budget. So I've been working with people in kind of health coaching and personal training, which personal trainers today are a lot like lifestyle managers. And so I've been able to give people advice throughout many years on how to live a healthy lifestyle. And a lot of this comes through the sacrifice between your time versus your budget. Now, when you look at different socioeconomic um, statuses, you tend to see that the more lower income that you are, you're not able to enjoy a lot of the luxuries or the pampers of life, so you're kind of stuck cooking more. But a lot of these people today unfortunately don't really know how to cook, or they cook very unhealthy food, or they actually sacrifice their budget and kind of stay in this poverty cycle through consuming a lot of fast food and processed food. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you have people who do suffer with health issues or with their weight. Um, they definitely are more affluent, but they are doing a lot of sacrificing their budget, which is spending a lot of money on eating out, whether that's ordering takeout or eating out in general. A lot of business meetings, you do eat out a lot, lunch meetings and things like that. So they're spending more of their budget, but unfortunately, to save time, but unfortunately, their sacrifice of their budget doesn't really help with healthy living in general. So we've known this for a long time, that chronic eating out, especially fast food, is not healthy for the body. Especially in America, a lot of processed food and fast food contains a lot of high salt, high sugar, kind of high fat fried food type of products or meals that don't really give you the nutrients, the vitamins, and the minerals that you need. In addition, it kind of contributes to weight gain, and when you gain weight, you don't feel good about yourself. And then generally, you're in this negative cycle where when you don't feel good, you don't really want to exercise, and then sometimes it goes down the rabbit hole even further. When you don't want to exercise, you don't want to be seen because you don't look good or look like you used to. So time versus budget. You either have to sacrifice a little bit of your time in order to eat healthier, which comes through the means of preparing and cooking your own food, or you sacrifice your budget. In that sense, you save a lot of your time, but you eat out so things are quicker. Unfortunately, if you are into the whole organic and vegan food area, you are kind of sacrificing your budget there because those products are definitely way more expensive. So there's really no right or wrong way to do it. I just know that, for example, for myself, I earn kind of like a normal wage. I live in Seattle, so it's expensive. So I don't have the luxury of just eating out all the time. If I did, that would be awesome. So even though I might have a 12-hour day where I'm jumping from building to building and client and class, I still have to prepare food and batch cook on Sundays to bring my own lunch, because I can't afford to drop $10,000 to $15,000 a year on eating out. So that's a sacrifice that I have to make. In order to save my budget, I have to sacrifice my time. The one thing is, for me, I love cooking. I do enjoy it. It's very therapeutic. I do the food blog because of my passion of cooking. That is something that is kind of like a hobby for me. It can get kind of tiresome after a while, especially when there is a busy week. But on the other hand, a lot of people tend to not want to sacrifice their time. They want to save their time, so they're willing to sacrifice their budget. But for those who aren't really that affluent, you tend to run into a lot of issues and problems there because you want to, or because you're struggling to pay your bills. So a lot of times you're seeing this connection generally between education as well as with your socioeconomic status and the choices of foods. Obviously, in a city where people are a little bit more educated or more affluent, you see restaurants or even fast food restaurants like Evergreens, where you're getting like to-go kale salads for $10. You go to places in middle America. I'm from Cleveland, so you go to places like in Cleveland or in Detroit, you have a lot of food deserts. So generally these are the corner shops that are located um, or the convenience store that's located in a neighborhood. Generally, it's a little bit lower economic status. There's really not a good built environment for people to access these shops, so they're walking, on the side of the road and or on people's lawns where there are really no sidewalks and things like that. So if you want to have a healthy lifestyle, I do believe it has to be a balance. You do have to balance a little bit of budget because certain things are more expensive today. I do believe that eating healthy on a budget is possible. You don't have to go super crazy like a lot of these food blogs and buy pomegranates for your salads. You can cook a lot of soups and fresh produce that's still affordable that may not blow your budget, but you do have to sacrifice a little bit of your budget in order to consume healthier food. So, for example, you might spend, let's say, $2.50 on some kale, and maybe like $1 on a pound of carrots and $2 on celery. That can kind of start to be a base toward a soup or a pasta versus spending $5 on 10 chocolate croissants from Safeway. Now, for your time, that's the one area of life that people tend to have a difficult time sacrificing. So, sacrificing your time is necessary. You have to put the time and effort into any sort of health behavior change or in order to eat healthy. So, maybe you have to blend a smoothie or juice, put some produce through a juicer. It takes time to clean these things and to obviously eat them, but there really is no other choice. There are very few people that I've worked with in my career that have eaten out every single day of the week or for every single meal and has been able to maintain a very healthy lifestyle. Generally, when you eat out, especially because you're eating more and you're not in control of what goes in the food, a lot of times there's just weight issues that come into play or something ends up happening like high blood pressure because you're eating out a lot of salty food so much. So these are just some thoughts that I want you to think about. So how can you balance between sacrificing a little bit of your budget, but also sacrificing some of your time? A lot of people who live in Europe, they have to go to the grocery store almost every day or every other day. Produce in Europe deteriorates and rots really fast. When you sell little things, a jam or things in a jar, everything is a lot smaller. They're not getting like big jars of Skippy peanut butter. So these are certain things they have to go to the store more frequently. A baguette rots and hardens overnight. Some baguettes in America, they take still like 2 or 3 days to really harden up, probably because there's some preservative or chemical in it. But what can you do? So we spend so much time on social media, especially just kind of rotting in front of the television, that there is something in your life that can be sacrificed in order to make some time in order to cook or just to take a 10 or 15 minute walk throughout the day to initiate a little bit more healthy behavior. When you start to really calculate how much time people sit on social media, it's pretty astounding. The more that I've gotten away from it myself, I've actually found that my life has become a little bit more fulfilling because I'm not just wasting a lot of time. I'm actually being more productive with my time, or I'm spending quality time with friends or my partner and things like that. So these are just some thoughts that I want you to think about. How can you balance your time but also your budget? Some people like to batch cook on Sundays and then prepare their food for the rest of the week. Some people like to just do one big meal on a Monday and have leftovers for a few meals, or just easy kind of fix togethers like, I can chop up things and make a salad and bring some hummus and pita to go along with that for lunch. So there are ways to go about this. I'm going to do more videos. You can look at some blog links below that are kind of similar to this topic. If you have any questions or comments, or if you'd like to share what are some ways that you have found that have helped you contribute to your healthy lifestyle of sacrificing your time and or your budget, I would love to hear it. And just one last thing in terms of budget, because it just popped in my head, is generally when you do grocery shop and cook from home, you are saving massive amounts of your budget. Things in general are getting more expensive, but eating out is still more expensive than preparing and cooking your own food. You might spend $10 on a salad at a restaurant or at a fast food place like Evergreens, but if you take that $10 and buy salad ingredients at the store, and say you just use something basic like salt, vinegar, and oil for your dressing, you can pretty much prepare a salad that would be for 3 to 4 people or for 3 to 4 meals. $10 for a salad goes a very long way, especially when you're just looking at the basics of, say, like some romaine lettuce, a pepper, like a green pepper, a red pepper, tomatoes, and some cucumber. So anyways, thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I hope you guys are staying well and healthy. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Would love to hear your comments. Definitely if you're in the training industry, I know some people that watch this channel are also personal trainers, so any tidbits that you've given your clients, it would be great to know. All right, thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye.